John Cena, the GOAT. Wait, first, I do not own the rights to this music, so please don't sue me, WWE John Cena. The trademark with a TH instead of an E. But John Cena, officially the GOAT, 17-time world champion, beat Cody Rhodes last night. Very anticlimactic match. Like, extremely anticlimactic. Like, extremely. Night one main event cleared. Io, Rhea, and Bianca's triple threat that was started off the show clears. I don't know what they're going for. I get John Cena said that, he's going to ruin wrestling. Like, my boy, what was that? Anyhow, be sure to like and comment the video, and then share, and also subscribe to the channel. Please, get your boy out the hood. Speaking again of your boy out the hood, I got I was lucky enough to become an brand ambassador for a clothing company / brand called Comfort, COMFRT.com. That's where you can buy some stuff. It will be in the description. The link will be in the description. Don't just type it in. Click the link that's in the description. You get 15% off, and your boy gets some kickback out of it. So, show your boy some love. Comfort hoodies, oversized hoodies. This is a 2X, I think. Dana got it too big. See my arms though, man. Yeah. But, yeah, comfort hoodies. They have shorts, they have sweatpants, even have a knitted blanket. Shout out to, I don't know which one of y'all like it. Like some big, comfortable blankets. Personally, I like a thin one. I get hot, I'm a big man. But, as y'all can see, Kevon is not here today. I don't know what Kevon's doing. Probably being the busy man that he is. So you guys have me here, Dolo. And I want to go ahead and get right into it because I am one of about 40,000 people who had the luxury of seeing Michigan spring game because, for some reason they didn't air it when they actually played it, which is kind of weird. But we got some takeaways, baby. Come on. Michigan football. And y'all know I'm big on spring games. So firstly, I know this is the biggest topic in all of college football. Everybody's wondering, what's Michigan's defense going to be like? We'll get to the quarterback stuff in a little bit. You know what? Nah. Let's get straight into the quarterback stuff. So going into the day, I think that if the season were to start this past Saturday, instead of a spring game to being a regular season game against New Mexico, I thought that Jaden Davis was probably the QB1. I feel like he would have been the starter going into the game, but would have had a short leash. And then during the game, Jaden was he was pretty accurate. He was accurate here and there. I know the box score looks pretty bad for both Jaden Davis and Bryce Underwood, but, the refs literally just let them do whatever. Outside of holding penalties and delay games, they were letting the DBs and do whatever they wanted, being handsy, be physical, all they want, and without calling a single pass interference. When y'all watch this upcoming Saturday, if y'all do watch it, y'all will see this. I think it was O'Leary going up for the ball, and the DB just shoves him out of bounds, kind of like how the Rams did the Saints way back in the day. Sorry to give you Saints fans some PTSD, but they weren't really calling much. But on the other side of it, Jaden, a lot of Michigan fans, including myself, we were all wondering, why don't we use Jaden? We have nothing to lose towards middle to the end of the season. And I see why. His throwing motion did get better because that shit was horrible. But it's just so prolonged. It takes so long. His wind up to delivery just takes so long sometimes that he's more prone to getting sacked. Because I think he got sacked about 3 or 4 times that were legitimate sacks. And it's just because he just holds onto the ball so long, and his throwing motion when bullets actually start to fly during the Big Ten season, when you have guys from Penn State who are probably a future first rounder because they always somehow have a future first round pick on the D line, when you're going against Oklahoma, who has a great defense year in and year out, when we're going against Ohio State, we're going against Indiana, Nebraska, teams of that nature, you don't really have that luxury to just, all right, have it all the way back here, let's look around, all right, now let's throw it. No, you're going to get strip sacked. You're going to be more prone to strip sacks, and you turn the ball over in the Big Ten, you're not going to win games. It's just how that works. On the other hand, I understand that the percentages looked, like I said, bad completion-wise. But we have to take into account, there was a lot of missed calls, and the receivers have to catch the freaking ball. And yes, I'll get back to specifically Bryce Underwood and Jaden Davis, but I don't think our receivers are I still don't think that our receivers are good at all. I think that we need to go into the portal and get the kid from Syracuse that, their coach said the other day. He wants $2 million. That's the kid from Ohio State. And I ain't gonna lie, if Jeremiah Smith only making $2 million, who the hell? Why do you think you should deserve to get $1.7 million? Like, you are nobody in the United States of America playing college football is anywhere close to Jeremiah Smith when it comes to being a wide receiver. That's just me being 100% transparent. But if bro from Syracuse wants to come in for about $1 million, we can make it work. Midwest Ivy, we got some money. But anyhow, to kind of continue on the receivers being a problem, in my opinion, we don't really have, we have guys like Samaj Morgan, who's literally just a slot guy. I think he's more so a gadget guy, because if you don't scheme him open, he's not going to get open. It's just not going to happen. I don't think that, his size, as well as his, skill, kind of forces your hand to, hey, if we don't give him a jet sweep, maybe a bubble here and a hitch, wide receiver screen, there's not really much you can do with Samaj Morgan all like that. I guess he can be a good zone finder every once in a while, in crossing routes and stuff like that, but he's pretty limited in my opinion. Also, I think the person who O'Leary dropped the deep ball from Jaden Davis off his hands. Leary down the sideline, smacked off his hands. We got to catch those. Real game wise, you drop that, that's a momentum. That's a big chunk play. And you don't really give many opportunities at chunk plays throughout the game. So we have to have guys who can capitalize off our quarterbacks finally be able to throw the deep ball again. And two, guys who can get open. We really need that. Backtrack back to Bryce and Jaden. Yet the final box score for Jaden Davis was 6 of 16, 74 yards, 2 interceptions, and led to 0 points. While Bryce's was 12 of 27, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But they scored 17 points. We didn't have Zavada. Zavada is our kicker, obviously, who, you Ohio State fans remember from last year, won us that game. Zavada didn't kick on Saturday. We had one of our other kickers kick, and he couldn't really make much out there. He was struggling. But, 17 points is still good, in my opinion. Michigan spring games are kind of weird. The good thing about our spring game this past Saturday is we really don't have any quarterbacks on scholarship who are healthy outside of Jaden and Bryce. Michael King, he's hurt right now. I don't think he's either hurt or not eligible to play yet, be a part of the team. And then Davis Warren, obviously, hurt his leg in the Alabama bowl game last year. So it was just Jaden and Bryce the whole entire game. In the first half, it's Bryce 3 of 15, 16 yards, and with 3 delayed games. Like it was kind of weird because I like the way that I don't think that's his actual box score because people are just looking at the play-by-play tweets that people are putting out. You don't really get to see what's going on. Bryce got the ball out so fast. It was just great to watch. It was 1-2, ball out on the third step on a comeback route. 1-2, all right, he have a hitch route right here. 1-2, all right, we have a option route from our tight end, and he's wide open. Here's a quick little 6 yards. He did bring a little scramble, and I was like, all right, little Bryce, got some weight, got some wheels to him, even though he got a little bit more weight to him now. Probably put some more muscle on. He's probably going to put on at least another 10 to 15 pounds before the season starts. But if he was the 3 of 15 that they say he was in the first half, and he finished 12 of 27, that means this man went 9 of 12 in the second half, which I'm living with. And one of the incompletions I do remember very vividly, I want to say we take a snap about the 50-yard line. Bryce is on the opposite 45, and he throws a deep ball. This man literally almost threw the ball into the front row. And I mean that in the most non-dramatic way possible. He literally threw it out the back of the end zone. That's how strong this kid's arm is. And I think that's part of the thing that he needs to rein in on, because as a young guy, you're kind of you don't really know how to control and tame your arm. So I think as he gets better at controlling his arm strength and, being able to layer his passes, I think it will get better. He did have an interception. The interception it was 1, late on the ball, and 2, kind of felt like miscommunication between him and the wide receiver. But, that's something that they'll get better with more rapport and more, reps. But Jaden Davis had 2 interceptions, and one of his interceptions were very ugly on a comeback route on the sideline. We gotta just knock those out. We can't have those. But if you were to ask me who I think came away from this spring game as the starter, I do think that now Bryce has the lead, because Bryce, I think he had a very good spring game, especially as a freshman. What's up, Johnny? As a freshman. But, he still has to continue to get better. Luckily for Michigan, we don't really play too many teams with a real offense. Like Oklahoma, week 2, obviously, is a big game. But Oklahoma has no offense at all, so we should be good with scoring 20 points. And then we do have, at the end of the day, we're going to be Michigan football. So, run game looked great. Let me see if I can pronounce this man's name right, because I don't want to butcher it, even though I know I'm going to butcher it. But Justice Hayes, who played pretty good, if you ask me, and our returning guy, Jordan Marshall, freshman who played really good against Alabama last bowl game. I think they both played really, really good. And then we have a true sophomore, if I'm not mistaken, by the name of, he didn't give me no help with the name. Bryson Cusdall, running back. He is a junior. I don't think he's a true junior, though. I think he's a junior on the field, maybe a sophomore on the field. But he looked really good, so it looks like Michigan will have a 3-headed horse back there in the backfield like we usually do. As for our O-line, it's kind of hard to really get a feel for it, because Michigan's spring game, they did a draft of the players instead of, first team for the second team. They drafted all the players for each team. So, went off. We're back. But, so Michigan, you don't really have the rapport with your guys at the O-line in the spring game. So it's kind of weird to see how good or how bad the O-line is. But I will say the defensive line looked amazing. Freaking TJ Guy rocking the number 4 now looks massive. Benny switched to number 55, and you don't just get number 55 at Michigan for no reason. Benny's going to be a problem. Hausman didn't really play that much. I think he only played about 1 or 2 series. But I think our D-line is going to be insane. I have no worries about our front 7 at all. But a guy who I was very, very, very impressed by was our freshman, Shamari Earls. And just like I said about the number 55 for Rashawn Benny, you don't get the number 2 as a freshman just willy-nilly. Will Johnson got number 2 as a freshman, and he showed why he was number 2 at cornerback as a freshman. Shamari Earls, physical, lengthy guy. I just love the way he plays. So hopefully when we start playing against better talent receiver-wise, he will just keep improving and keep getting better and show that he's worthy of the number 2. And then lastly, I think the player of the game will have to go to our junior tight end, Jalen Hoffman. I want to say he had about 7 or 8 catches. He was on the blue team with Bryce Underwood, kind of felt like a safety valve. I think he will be the starting tight end this year. He had about 7 catches for, I want to say, probably about 100 yards, if I'm not mistaken. He had the last touchdown on a little trick play. He had 1 catch that was about 20 to 30 yards on the out route, and then he had a lot of checkdowns. So it feels like him and Bryce have a good rapport with each other, and I think that Jalen Hoffman will be the starting tight end at Michigan this upcoming season. So let's pivot from the college world to the NFL. The draft is on Thursday. If y'all don't see me next Monday, that means the Giants didn't take Shedeur Sanders, and I didn't go take matters in my own hands and go beat up the Giants front office, because if we don't get Shedeur Sanders, I promise you, I'm hitting the transfer portal. I might go be a Bengals fan with my boy Johnny or something. I don't know. That might be the only way out. Because I know last year I said, hey, let Russ cook. Russ is cooking up. If Kevon was here, he would be making the face right now. We had a whole hour back and forth about Russell Wilson playing like a top 10 quarterback at the time. And that man is now was playing like shit at the end of the season. But let's grab Shedeur, let him sit a little bit, let him simmer like a crock pot. Let him simmer, learn behind Russ, learn behind Jameis Winston. I think those 3 deserve a reality show. Imagine a show that just centers around Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Shedeur Sanders. I feel like that's appointment television, if you ask me. But nonetheless, Giants need a quarterback. Cam Ward is going number 1 overall. Travis Hunter, I think, is confirmed number 2 pick right now. I think the Browns are the only team that's down bad enough to let him, play both sides of the ball. I do think the Giants get Shedeur at number 3. I have Abdul Carter going number 4 to the Patriots. And then, on some, pick around, jump around for key players or players of note, as some would say. I do think the Jets go get a tackle, kind of help with Justin Fields, make sure he has time back there. It also helps with the run game. I think, especially with Justin being back there, you're going to be running the ball way more than you were last year. You have Brees, you have Justin Fields, you have Braylon Allen. I think the read option is going to be your best friend. I think the Panthers get Territory McMillan out of Arizona. Panthers need a wide receiver bad, in the words of the City Girls, real bad. And as one of the first curveballs of the draft, I think the Saints get Kenneth Grant. They don't need, they need D-line help, obviously. Obviously. I think with Chase Young coming back, hopefully playing a full season for the first time in forever, and you have Cam Jordan, he's obviously on the tail end. His man's pushing 40. He's probably not pushing 40, but, being dramatic. Got to play it up. And Kenneth Grant's a great guy to have on your D-line. He's great in the run game, great in the pass game. He's a freak of nature, too. And then, a couple of picks later, I have Emeka Egbuka going to the Cowboys. The Cowboys do need running back help. They do need some O-line. They do need a little bit of O-line help as well. But I think that if you get CeeDee Lamb some help on the outside, I mean, you can't, because anytime the Cowboys played and CeeDee Lamb couldn't really get open, the whole offense went to shit. Like, it went to hell in the breadbasket. So I think with having Emeka Egbuka, who is a great route runner, sure hands, I think the Cowboys can improve their offense dramatically more than they can with a running back. And especially in a running back class this deep, I think that you're bound to find a great running back in the second round. Like, whether that's Cam Scatterbo, whether that's Trey Henderson, whether that's Quishon Judkins. Like, you're bound to have a good running back fall in your lap. I have the Colts taking Tyler Warren, helps with Jonathan Taylor, because Tyler Warren is great in the pass. Great in the run game, run blocking wise as a tight end. And then in the pass game, he's just short hands. You can put him anywhere. You can have him attach the line, detach from the line. Anywhere you need him. Great tight end. And then at number 17, I have the Bengals taking Will Johnson. Yes, you can go. It was kind of a battle between him and James Pierce from Tennessee. On one hand, you need a guy who's going to go after the pass. Go after the passer. You need a great pass rusher. With a great pass rush, you can kind of be a little bit more graceful with your back end. But I think with Will Johnson falling in your lap, I think before the season, he's a top 10 guy, regardless. And then with the injury history, which, now that I'm thinking about it more, could deter the Bengals from drafting him, because Bengals in injury history with Michigan players is kind of a curse right now. So I could see either Will Johnson or James Pierce falling to the Bengals at 17. But anyhow, I think that this draft will be very chalky, if you guys mean. I don't see many big splashes it's a trade, someone's trading up. No. I think a lot of it's going to be very, all right, best player available. And that's just because of the nature of this draft. And I also will say, with that being the case, and with Aaron Rodgers still not making his decision, I do think the Steelers get Jackson Dart. No, I do not think Jackson Dart is first round pick worthy, but because of just the nature of the draft and how down bad the Steelers are, you kind of have to go with Jackson Dart, because you're not going into the season with Mason Rudolph. And if you are, you're one sick bastard, if you ask me. I also think that second round, the Browns probably go quarterback. Maybe Jalen Milroe. Personally, I'll fuck around and go with Quinn Ewers. I think Quinn Ewers is more ready-made than Jalen Milroe. Because with Jalen Milroe, you have a lot of fixing to do. A whole lot of fixing. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this upcoming draft that takes place this Thursday throughout the weekend. So it's going to be interesting to see where certain people fall. Hopefully my boy Colston Loveland, falls to the second round, come be a Giant, come kick it with Shador, Malik Neighbors, we up. We back. That's a playoff team right there. That's damn near a Super Bowl team. I ain't gonna say too much. But we will take a short break, come back with a very interesting NBA take that I have. We back with Through the Whistle. So I know I said we're going to do an NBA segment, but I'll say that for next week. I'll let Kevon be a little bit of rage bait next week. But thank you for tuning in. Through the Whistle, little kind of Michigan spring game special, NFL draft special, kind of, sort of. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully Kevon's here. If not, it'll be me again. Make sure to like and comment and share the video, as well as subscribe to the channel. Comfort Apparel, link is in the bio, or in the description. See you later on Through the Whistle.